Hello, welcome to another Geography podcast with me, Mr. Baxter, and today's guest, probably the most sustainable man in the whole of the Federation. He is so sustainable that he got rid of his car, and his mode of transport now is the walking handstand. Say hello, Mr. Lee.
Hello everyone.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. You had a good day?
Yes, it's been busy, been up at the college doing A-level chemistry.
You seem in an incredibly good mood. Is it the weather? First sort of sunny day that we've had this year.
It's starting to get lighter. It's light when we get to work, which is always a bonus.
Always good.
Yeah.
Do you still cycle to school?
Not as much anymore.
It's not very sustainable.
Walking handstand, as you said.
Oh yeah, of course. Right, we're going to start with talking about jobs.
Mm-hmm.
About different jobs, and you're just going to tell me what you think they're having. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And if you're right, I'll ask you back to do another one.
Okay, is there a prize at the end?
Chocolate biscuit.
Lovely.
Miss Watson's chocolate biscuits, please don't tell her. Okay, right. So what do these have in common then? We've got a farmer, we've got a miner, and we've got a fisherman.
I'm going to go for, this does link quite nicely to what I've been doing recently. They're all involved in extracting some sort of resource.
They are indeed. Good. So they would be known as primary jobs. Second type of jobs, I'll give you 3 examples. Let's see if you can define them. Seamstress, blacksmith, and baker.
So they're all involved with the production of something, making something by the sounds of it.
Excellent, yeah, manufacturing or making things, there are secondary jobs. Third type, teacher, doctor, banker.
I'm going to go for they all provide some sort of service.
Excellent, you're getting the terminology spot on. It's tertiary jobs. And the last one, app developer, scientific researcher, or F1 car designer.
Well, they're all making something new there, and I think you mentioned the word research in there.
Yeah.
So research and development, I guess.
Exactly, R&D, things for the future, making things better. Good, and that's our final type, which is quaternary, which no one can ever say or spell. I like to put people on the spot when we try. Just wondering sort of about your parents and your grandparents. Do you know what they did or do now?
Yeah, so thinking back, perhaps my parents and grandparents aren't the best example. Most of them, based on those definitions, are going back to some sort of service industry. So my granddad on my mum's side was a firefighter, and then my dad, he worked for the MOD, and he was started off as an electronic engineer, so he was making various electronic devices. But then as he worked his way up from the bottom, which is quite a nice story, ended up managing a workshop and being involved in developing a few ideas.
They were sworn to secrecy, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's part of the Official Secrets Act, and it's only in the last 5 or 10 years when that's run out.
So I guess you've sort of dispelled what should be quite the common pattern of moving away from primary secondary. It seems like even grandparents were tertiary sectors. Okay, we're also seeing that a lot of these new jobs, they're not evenly spread throughout the country. A lot of these jobs are now happening to the south of the country, particularly centred around London. Do you like London as a city?
I think it's got a lot going for it. One of the biggest things is you've got attractions there that you can't find anywhere else in the country. For example, the West End shows that they've got on, the musicals.
No, I'm not a fan of London at all. My biggest bugbearer is when people run down the escalator to get to the tube. I'm thinking, the tubes are there like every 2 minutes. Why do we have a slow lane and a fast lane on an escalator? It drives me mad, because where I'm from in Derby, I remember growing up, there was one bus every hour. So these people don't know what that struggle is, and if you've missed that bus, you have to wait, another 59 minutes. So it just frustrates me. It's rushing lots of people. Very busy.
That's true, but what's more frustrating? People rushing past you, or having to stand behind someone who's moving really, really slowly.
A lot of people moving down to London, but we're not talking about manufacturing jobs anymore. Those have gone. So we're talking about what's called post-industrial developments, which is a key phrase in the exam. It's all science parks and jobs for these tertiary or quaternary industries. Now, before we talk about our example, I've just got a couple of jokes for you. You have to laugh because I made these myself. Here we go. And you can obviously use these to impress all your friends and family. Yeah, okay.
Let's hear them.
I used to work in a recycling plant, but I quit because it was so depressing. You're not sure about that one? It was soda pressing.
So depressing.
Yep, okay, we'll move on.
I see.
Yeah, you get it?
Yeah.
Still waiting.
Yeah.
We'll insert the laughter in. We've got a bottom for that. Excellent.
Yes.
But it's okay, because I've got a new idea of a chewing gum recycling business.
Yeah.
I'm just finding it hard to get it off the ground.
Very good.
He likes that. He's got a
that
cheeky
one.
smile. Brilliant. So, now we're going to talk about the science park. It is Europe's oldest and arguably most successful science park. You look thrilled by this.
What makes it so successful?
It's there because Cambridge Trinity College, they spent a lot of money because all the graduates that were leaving Cambridge were like, right, we've got some new ideas, we're fresh to the workforce, we want to start our own companies. And they didn't have that space to do it. So they funded them and to this day give them millions of pounds for the most high-tech offices and workspace. And interestingly, from 2013 to 2017, these Cambridge startup companies in the science park made over $2 billion, which means they're the most successful of any. It's interesting because obviously me and you went to university together.
We did.
Obviously, you both graduated at the same time and then went into teaching.
Mm.
Would you have ever stayed on in Birmingham? Because a lot of these Cambridge graduates love the place that much and decided to stay on.
As a city itself, it was good for a few years, but I could never see myself living in Birmingham. It was quite a big city.
Not enough cycle lanes.
Not
You
enough
didn't want to do the
cycle
Aston
lanes.
Expressway?
No.
You have a death wish.
Um,
So, I'll just give you an example of one of the spin-off startup companies called Cambridge Consultants. Again, probably one that you've not heard of, but loads of smart Cambridge graduates are there and earning lots of money. And I actually looked online at some of the most recent things that they've done. One thing, maybe up your street, smart recycling. I know you're big on being green and
that is right
recycling.
up my street. Yeah.
So what they've got is like a bin, and you can put anything that's recyclable on it, and it tells you what part of the bin you then put into. But over time, it learns, it's artificial intelligence. So the more you use it and the more it tests what sort of plastic it is, it will become more accurate with where you need to put it in these sort of tubes, as it were. So
I like that.
you heard it here first. It is copyrighted, but I see your mind whirring
Yeah.
on a couple of things. Here's another one. Whether it's for you or not, I'm unsure. But they've created a beauty app. Now, apparently, this industry is really big now. It's called Reflection, and what they do is you take a photo of your face, and they shine lots of light on it and take a photo, and they tell you how shiny or matte your face is, which apparently is what people want to know.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning.
Skin tuition, apparently it's
Is it?
called. Yeah,
At least I've got the
thing.
name for it.
Yeah, that's really good. So then they can recommend different shades of foundation or concealer. So,
I see.
you know, I see you're going a bit too dark at the moment.
I
Got a
might,
bit- got a bit of a shadow. So that could be something maybe you work on. Maybe. But all these startup companies, they're also bringing in the big boys as well. They're attracting lots of big tech giants such as Kodak, Toshiba, and Apple are actually going to be there in 2021. Some people are like, yes, these big companies are great as they provide money. So they can improve the roads to this area, they can improve the railways. Potentially they're talking about having helicopter pads on this site as well. So any bigwig that might fly into London can just jump on a plane or helicopter and get to the science park. So
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We've got the big companies there, but it's whether or not that money actually makes its way into the local community.
this Cambridge Science Park, then, it doesn't just provide jobs that are quite high tech, it's also good for nature. All right, so I'm going to just reel off a few things that they have done here, and you're just going to score it very quickly out of 10. Right, first thing, in all of the buildings in this science park, they've got energy efficient light bulbs all throughout the buildings.
8.
8. Lots of the buildings are made out of glass, lots of glass panels, so the natural light comes in to reduce on electricity.
I'm going to go for 6. It depends how insulated they are.
Yeah, good point. I don't have that to hand, so we'll move on. They have over 100 free bikes that you can hire on site.
Got to be a 10.
Got to be a 10. Normal and electric, the option is available. It must be uphill maybe to the science park. So,
Yes.
you know, on the way to lunch it's fine, on the way back, difficult. They've got 9 showers on site to encourage running, walking or cycling to and from,
Yeah,
work.
9. 9 for
9,
that.
good.
That's important.
Aerated water in the sinks to reduce on wastage. So if you aerate your water, obviously less is coming out of the taps. Because a lot of that is obviously
I'm going to give that a 10 because that's a simple.
I saw the eyebrow go up there.
cost-effective
Yeah.
way of reducing waste. I like that.
Okay, couple more. They have a car share app. So if you need a lift in the morning, you go on there and say, right, I live here, I need to go into the Cambridge Science Park, who wants to pick me up? So it's a bit like sort of this internal taxi service to reduce congestion and
I'm going to give that a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as impressed by
Well,
that
you
as anything else.
never know who you're going to end up sharing with. So.
No, that's it. It's a bit like when you pick up a hitchhiker. Probably not. But I guess work colleagues.
Yeah.
Do you trust them? I'm not sure. Okay, right, last one then. They have special pavements. Now, don't ask me too many questions because I don't know the facts, but they have pavements on site which apparently absorb and take in NO2. What's that?
That is nitrogen dioxide.
Okay, right, and that comes from...
That is a pollutant
Yep.
that is caused by the reaction of oxygen
Yep.
and nitrogen in the atmosphere caused by the extra heat from car engines. That is a perfect GCSE science,
You were rubbing your hands
chemistry,
together.
topic 9 answer there for you.
Very, very good. Well, apparently, and this could be rubbish, but apparently in this pavement they've got the ability to oxidise the NO2 when it reacts with sunlight as well, and that somehow absorbs the pollutants from the air. Right, very good. So, to finish then, we've discussed some of the positives about this science park and how sustainable it is, and you seem mightily impressed by some aspects of it. Finally, there are some negatives. So I'm going to give you some headlines from the Daily Mail. Now, I'm not saying that you read
reputable paper.
exactly good. I just want you to see how many of these missing words that you can perhaps guess, because they link to some of these negatives. So the first one, it's not saved my what? It's not saved my what?
Now I want to say bacon. I mean, it's not saved my transport costs.
You were right first time. It's not saved my bacon.
Was I?
Yeah. So
I was only joking.
built on farmland, and apparently there was an article about this guy who was a really angry local who had to travel further for his meat, and his paper was in the Daily Mail with an angry view that they've ruined it now and his life is diminished. His quality. So right,
Okay.
next
Now
one.
I know the quality that I'm going for.
Yeah, you know where we're going, know where it's pitched. Right, jobs, but only if you are what of the class?
Top of the class.
Yeah, very good. Slightly easier, I must confess, but very good. Yeah, the argument here that all these jobs are too high skilled, and if you're not right there academically, there's less job opportunities for you. Next one. Boss bemoans workers getting to work what?
I think it's linked to the showers. Getting to work sweaty. Is that right?
No, it's not. That would have been a better story, I'm sure. Boss bemoans getting to work late. Apparently this science park has become so popular, there's so much congestion now going in and out of Cambridge at rush hours. It's really impacted on other businesses, other parts of the city. And then lastly, you better get used to living with what?
Living with a helicopter pad on your doorstep.
In the future, maybe. You better get used to living with your parents. So this is the idea that house prices in the area have really shot up just because of the demand for land and space, everything like that. So, overall today we've talked about the science park, mostly some of the positives, the north-south divide and people being drawn down to the south for these high-tech jobs. I guess all that's left to say is stay sustainable. Goodbye from me, and goodbye from Mr. Lee.
Goodbye.